Hello, welcome to Rooted Cosmic Soul. We're going to do a story divination. Let's get started. Healed ancestors, elevated spirit guides, and angels, and higher selves. Give us a story that will offer insight during this Venus retrograde. I'm going to take a few cards from a few decks that I sat with in meditation just before starting this story. I feel like maybe that card ones will come out, but I'm going to trust the goddess. And if it really truly wants to come out, it'll make its way out. But I cleansed the decks, but I wanted to also shuffle them with you all so that your energy is present while I shuffle. We're going to start off with a card from the Rose Oracle. There we are. Fertile Void. Okay, we are also going to grab a few cards from the Oracle of Avalon, keeping the keeping the, I guess they're all mixed up, huh? Let's see. I want them to mostly be together, though, even if it comes out upside down. It's story time, so I'm not going to read reversals. Insights. Calling on divine feminine energy to offer us insights during this Venus retrograde. Divine feminine energy offering us insight during this Venus retrograde. More time, okay. All right. Many. Pairing 3. Thank you. We're gonna do 3 from the Transmuting the I. Transmuting the I. Please offer us insight during this Venus retrograde, or inward gaze ways to transmute the I for the greater good of the collective. Transmute the I for the greater good of the collective. Time. I'm gonna do 3 again. Thank you. Transmuting the I. We're going to do 1 from Oracle of the 7 Energies. One from Oracle of the 7 Energies. These offer us insight for a story we can take in during this Venus retrograde. Venus retrograde. Thank you. And lastly, one of my favorite decks, the Divine Feminine. What energy can we lean into during this Venus retrograde? What Divine Feminine energy? This is the Divine Feminine Oracle deck. What Divine Feminine energy can we lean into during this Venus retrograde? Okay, she's ready. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so looking at this in its entirety, we start with a main message around the fertile void, which is this idea of a space and time where we go inward with intention. It's the inner winter, so it's the idea of mimicking nature, that when deep winter comes, things in nature hibernate. They go in, whether seed or bear. And even if a being is not fully in hibernation, it's only out and about for survival. And it's minimal. And so this is the idea of now is a time to enter into that inner winter, rest, patience, and in that space is really potent energy, because it's in this inner space, this time, that we can start planting seeds for beginnings. But right now they're sort of in secret. They're not in the light. They're in the beautiful dark womb of creation. So you can see that she's in the inner space, the fertile void, and thoughts, ideas are sort of coming up, and that's the seed, sort of feminine, divine seed of new beginnings. And this is the winter. You can't really say, it's almost like, looks like a mountain range, but it's kind of like as things come up into the light, they start really blossoming and blooming. And so I think perhaps in this story, the offering from Divine Feminine energy during Venus retrograde is to really take advantage of the moment in which you can go into this inner space, this rest, and be patient, that things are occurring and you don't necessarily need to know all of it. Now, what I find really interesting is that when I pulled the Avalon cards, remember I pulled it, I went here, here, here. And you know, if you were to think of this sort of like the pendulum, the middle of the pendulum, this is the balanced state of neither here nor there, liminal balanced state, or the liminal space, neither here nor there. But the cards that showed up are masculinity, so divine masculine, honor, virility, firmness, qualities of the masculine, in terms of its energy and in its balanced divine state. And then on this side was new beginnings, seeds, plan, initiation. It is a point in time. It's almost moving into, it's either moving into the new moon to plant seeds for a new beginning, or we've planted seeds and we're moving into those new beginnings. And with the moon's here, energy here, it makes me think of, like, on this side is the divine feminine energy. And so we're being offered a story of what does it look like in this moment to be in that fertile void, that liminal space of neither masculine or feminine energy right now, because the time will come when whatever it is you're planting and creating, and that beginning that's coming will come, and there will be a moment of this sweet anticipation, and in that, that eagerness and excitement of something, of that new beginning, can really be held with strong, persistent desire, because we've let it percolate. We've let it come from the divine. And we've done that by, which is really beautiful. Now, when I pulled the Transmuting the I cards, again, I pulled 1, 2, 3, and I thought about, as I was pulling it, I didn't think too hard, and I just thought, okay, we've got these three cards. I'm going to pull those to sort of give us clarifications for these. And what came out is really beautiful, because a mind card came out here, which is all the cards in under the mind field are messages from the divine masculine about exploring rational thought, logic, linear movement, mind-based action. So when you do come out of that void, there's a path available to foster focusing on your North Star. So perhaps when we're in this void, this liminal space, the North Star actually becomes clear. So during Venus retrograde, as it's moving backward and it's asking us to revisit some things that we need to either deepen our learning of, or really get clarity that that's a relearning, that the way I was is not the way I want to be, that secret beginning. That's the seeds that I'm planting. And when we come out of that, centering integrity, who you are outside of the influence of others, can create growth, balance, gratitude, commitment, and communication that is aligned with cooperation, harmony, alignment, not only with your I, but with the we, that is your collective. And on the other end of that pendulum, on the divine feminine side, the clarifying card is the equivalent of the high priestess card. It's the intuition, letting us know that the answer is within. And if we have a choice to go in and really move from where we're that eagerness, that excitement, that strong, persistent desire, whatever any clarifications we might need when we come out of the void around this new beginning, go inside, go into your third eye, go into your throat, go into your heart, really go into any and all of your energy centers, because where messages might be for each of us is going to be different. Really, it's based on our individual natal charts and what's happening with the transits against our chart, what's happening with the path that we're living, where we are on our journey. But regardless, lean into intuition. Like, this story calls for a leaning in, because the new beginning was planted in the fertile void. This might be more like at the end when I think it's like beginning of April, whenever retrograde goes direct, like that might be the time where that beginning is you're really gonna see it and you can engage your intuition for clarity and really thinking discernment, which leads me to that goddess of discernment, Freyja, who showed up. And she's a beautiful reminder about discerning. And when we might be in our mind a little too much, coming into our intuition to step into the energy that our spirit holds, to know when a yes is an actual yes, right? Like her affirmation is, I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. So if on this particular journey during Venus retrograde, we can spend our time in that potent, fertile void, I think it will become clearer what that holy hell yes is, and particularly becomes clearer if I'm focusing on my North Star, which the clarity came in that liminal space of the fertile void. And as I am stepping into that, I'm feeling really anticipatory about the fruit that is being born out of the void into the winter, into the spring. We're being offered a little side path of truth. So messages about exploring, understanding, and fostering the North Star and our most authentic selves. And it's saying, explore the path of curiosity to find your authentic truth. And it's coming in as an ace, right? So this is like potential opportunities, beginnings. There's so much synergy in what the divine feminine energy offered us in this storytelling, because it's, as we're trying to clarify maybe what was even clarified for, because it might be that our higher selves really know clearly what's getting planted during this fertile void of Venus in retrograde, that as you come out of that, explore the path of curiosity to find your authentic truth. Go towards both. Go toward holding a linear path toward focusing on your North Star. But that linear path, like what that might look like, you're designing it from your intuition. You're designing it based on what your deepest self is telling you. Take this step, take this step, take this step. And out of that, this story ends with bearing of fruit. And this idea that the work that we put in during that fertile void, and the anticipation we hold when we come out of that strong, persistent desire, is going to bear fruit. And the really beautiful thing is the color connection between this card and this card. Let's see, here we go. Right? Like, it's almost like this forest is right there. That's the forest that's above our little void, that we are, in our deepest, most authentic selves, creating this new beginning. And the other thing, when I look at this card, what's really interesting is when I first looked at this card, I don't know if I can get it close enough. For me, I was like, oh, that kind of looks like owls, like multiple owls, feathers. There's definitely a being. There's spirit energy down here at the bottom of the tree. And in Freyja, one of the things about Freyja is she's covered in this really beautiful feathered vest. So one could say, like, a lot of fruit is going to be born out of this fertile void. The seeds that we're planting are going to create this really beautiful forest of opportunities and trees. It's going to be really important for us to use discernment, to only say yes when it's a holy hell yes, right? And to follow that yes is going to come from, the clarity of that yes is going to come from exploring the path of curiosity to find authentic truth. So all of this stuff is being born from curiosity, questions. I'm not making assumptions, judgments. I'm not leaning on one type of thought pattern or process. I'm really opening myself up to that void with patience. And look, doing nothing is doing something. I don't know who needs to hear that, but doing nothing is doing something. So even if one is super busy with survival, finding 2 minutes, you get into your car to head to where you need to go, just 2 minutes, set your watch for your phone or your watch for 2 minutes to sit and just breathe, just follow your breath. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. You have to think about anything. You have to intend anything, but just, the fertile void. Just be in the space of breath as much as you can. It doesn't have to be a 40-minute sit. And, maybe you set that time aside and then the kids started screaming or the dog need to be walked or whatever. And that's okay. Like, okay, we'll find it somewhere else. It could be when I open my eyes in the morning, I have that moment of gratitude. I have that moment where I'm taking a breath and I'm thanking the universe for waking. That's a moment of the fertile void. It could also be maybe right before you fall asleep. Same thing, thank you for the day, or noticing what worked in your day and having gratitude for that. I'm going to take a moment to kind of look to see if there's anything. I kind of like, when I pulled it in more of like a spiral, a haphazard spiral fashion, I went like that. Because that's not really a spiral, but non-linear. But if I look at this, if I try to step into balanced, divine masculine energy and look at it linearly, we go from the fertile void, secret beginnings, into this sweet anticipation, into this explore the path of curiosity, so new beginnings. So like when you come out of this, you're going to hold in eagerness, like the story just sort of picks up for you and you've got this really strong, persistent desire to have that new beginning to run with that new beginning. And so hold strong to exploring, understanding, and fostering your North Star. Because that's going to help you really stay aligned with your authentic truth as you step into the excitement of what is being grown out of the liminal space that you were in. Going down this way, so starting with masculine energy, you come out of this, you come out of the fertile void, and part of our energy is that masculine energy, and it's offering you to center on your North Star. Use the qualities of the masculine, the positive, balanced energies of the divine masculine to focus on your North Star. And you can do that by using discernment. Only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. When it comes to your divine feminine energy, new beginnings, seeds planted, initiation, you're coming out of here. It's a point in time. You're going to come out of that void and bam, something has died. That winter is done and spring comes out, and go into your intuition. If you're feeling kind of like, wow, I'm not really sure what was planted, go into your intuition because the answer is within you. And in doing that, you'll be able to bear the fruit that makes most sense for the path that you're on. So same thing, masculine is the aspect of doing. And so it could be when you go this way, aspect of doing, you are, you're eager, you're excited, and it's going to bear fruit. Stay focused on the honor and firmness of the divine masculine. New beginnings, the seeds that I'm planting, I'm going to be super eager about the different things that are coming up. Maybe there were a lot of seeds that came up. And so remember to spend your time wisely and be persistent with what you desire. Not any fear that might pop up after you come out of the liminal space around what is possible or not possible. Freyja is going to hold you and help you bring these things into life, walk you from one stage to the next stage. Yeah, even when I look this way, it's still the same. It's pretty much the same story. It's pretty consistent. Offering from divine feminine energy during this Venus retrograde time. Okay, so for folks who like to process prompts, or who like to use prompts to process information or to dig deeper into energy, the Rose Oracle does offer soul inquiries. So for the fertile void, the soul inquiry is, how can you surrender into the great mystery? How can you surrender into the great mystery? And then for the divine feminine Freyja, they call it the soul voice meditation. What does a hell yes, the holy yes, feel like in my body? What does a hell yes, the holy yes, feel like in my body? So whoever this was for, I hope that it was helpful. I'm really grateful that you decided to join me on this little story path. My energy is going to stay with me, and excuse me, your energy is going to stay with you. I'm really grateful to our healed ancestors, our spirit guides in the light, our guardian angels and archangels, and our highest selves for bringing this message in. Unfettered and infinite love and gratitude.